see in your next life.
At one point, fans held Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken as exclusive members of an elite echelon of video games rarely achieved by many in the fighting genre. For a time, Bandai Namco's Soul Calibur punched, slashed, and 8-way ran its way into this venerated status. Players thrilled to be muscle combatants, eyeballed swords, and sexy ladies galore. And yet, today, once iconic characters like Ivy, Cervantes, and Siegfried have faded from the gaming ecosystem. The franchise has had such a distinct fall from grace that most gaming fans don't know if Soul Calibur is one word or two. Spoiler alert, it's both.
You win! I never had such an easy victory.
Before you get tempted by a magical sword beckoning you to click out of this video, please consider subscribing to Nerdstalgic Gaming for more fighting games just like this one. Much like many gaming franchises, Soul Calibur had an odd and somewhat humble beginning. The first game in the franchise was released in 1995 and titled Soul Edge. It followed an ensemble of characters who all desired to wield a mythical weapon said to hold untold power. You guessed it, Soul Edge. A sentient sword with a massive eyeball planted in the hilt. The game financially performed well and was positively critically reviewed. The creator of the series, Hiroaki Toriyama, would be actively involved in the initial few outings of the franchise and then eventually recede into a more godfathering position as the internal dev team codenamed Project Soul would handle much of the responsibilities of developing the franchise. 1998 saw the release of Soul Calibur, one word, onto the Dreamcast, which is undoubtedly how most people watching this video remember playing it. As you'll notice, the title of this game is Soul Calibur, one word, taken from the in-game super powerful good sword that opposes the Soul Edge. But the title of this weapon is the Soul Calibur, two words. Why did they streamline this into one word for the title of the game and the franchise? Because they're a Japanese company using English words to make something that sounds cool. The real reason the franchise has a new name is that Toriyama and the Project Soul team looked at the success of Soul Edge and tried to figure out how they could improve things. They opted for shifting the name of the franchise to be the Good Sword because it's more heroic and a portmanteau of Excalibur and Soul. Toriyama and crew set their sights on two things: making the best weapons-based fighting game ever and improving the actual combat in-game. Soul Calibur implemented an 8-way run mechanic into the combat system, meaning the characters fighting could move in any 8 directions during combat. This was a massive step up. In this game, the story sees the Soul Edge ending up in the clutches of Cervantes de Leon, dastardly pirate guy, and then, the same thing that always happens. People use swords to fight each other. Is anyone really here for the story? Or just cute girls? No? I'm the only one here for Ivy? Okay. Back to the important info. The Dreamcast version of Soul Calibur sold over 1 million copies in December of 1999. It was a huge smash hit, so naturally, Toriyama and crew started work on a sequel almost immediately. 2002 saw Soul Calibur II explode onto the scene. Not only did it have wildly improved graphics, but the gameplay was smoother and more responsive. Additionally, this game featured something just about no one saw coming: console-exclusive characters. The GameCube, PS2, and Xbox versions of the game all got exclusive guest characters that the player could wail on their friends with. Have you ever wanted to see the typically family-friendly Nintendo poster child Link slice his way through scantily clad women and globe-trotting megalomaniacs? Well, now you can.
Right, Link, my friend, here's your goods. Should give those Soul Calibur fighters a right stick.
This time, the game centers around a large ensemble of characters, attempting to collect the shattered remnants of the Soul Edge in order to rid the world of its evil once and for all. When asked how they planned on competing with the first game's already sizable legacy by IGN in 2002, Toriyama, king of the company man, answers quipped with nothing but non-statements and fluffy positive statements. He fully seems like someone well-versed in the deadly art of professional business emails. The game was a runaway success, earning critical acclaim and a financial windfall. Could Toriyama and Project Soul three-peat? Well, Toriyama must not have been all that confident because he started the process of stepping back. While he's credited as the lead producer on Soul Calibur II, he's credited alongside producers Akiko Tange and Mitsuo Kashiwagi for this installment. Soul Calibur III is a pretty significant departure from the games that came before. It features multiple new modes, including Tales of Souls, Edge Master Mode, and Chronicles of the Sword. This entry is often remembered as the, oh yeah, that one, of the franchise. However, it did well enough to garner support for a new installment. So Project Soul got to work on another installment, but this time avoided the mistakes of the previous game, like QuickTime events. And Soul Calibur IV was released in 2009. This game serves as the final entry into the 1590 AD trilogy of games, being comprised of Soul Caliburs 2, 3, and 4. The game was co-directed by Bandai Namco Bad Boy and Tekken architect Katsuhiro Hirata. His skill as a director was only matched by his weird penchant for wearing sunglasses indoors.
Don't ask me for
Even when he's signing a fan's Soul Calibur 5 guide, what is with this guy? The new elements this time out included critical finishers and destructible armor. Much like its best-selling predecessors, it features console-exclusive characters. But this time, the characters are from a galaxy far, far away. Yoda, Darth Vader, and Force Unleashed protagonist Starkiller. Throughout the course of production, many were convinced that this would be the final Soul Calibur game. Rumors persisted that Project Soul would be disbanded after the conclusion of the project, and yet, despite this doom and gloom, the game made loads of money.
What you do from here is up to you to decide.
Soul Calibur 5 was released in 2012. To put it bluntly, this game feels like most of the people involved were asleep at the wheel. The game is a soft reboot of the franchise, jumping forward in time 17 years. Most of your favorite characters, not even here anymore. One of the many contributing factors into why the game is so bad is because Namco didn't want to splurge on the resources that Soul Calibur needed to succeed. They wanted to put their money behind Tekken Tag Tournament, which was being produced concurrently. What Hirata wants, Hirata gets, apparently. Soul Calibur 5 is so basic that all the cutscenes in the game are just stills, literally just still illustrations. Project Soul and Bandai Namco literally didn't even make them. They hired CyberConnect 2 to do it for them. Needless to say, this didn't make for a great game. After this stumble, Soul Calibur 6 wasn't a foregone conclusion. Prior to the release of 5, Daishi Odashima made an oblique, frustrated tweet stating that he felt like nothing more than a company man. And guess what? Project Soul didn't even make the next installment. Soul Calibur 6 is a bit of a rehash. It's a retelling of the events of the original game. Is it bad? No, it's just we've already played it 6 games ago. Soul Calibur as a franchise was taken for granted by Namco, and now the fighting game meta has just moved on. Despite selling in the millions, Soul Calibur has left almost no footprint in today's landscape. Part of this issue is that Soul Calibur was always second fiddle to Namco's primary fighting game, Tekken. There's also the simple fact that most of the creators who have worked on the franchise are good soldiers. They're creatives who will show up, work on what they're told to work on, and just want to be good company men. Sure, you had Captain Why Yes, I Do Spend My Time Staring Into the Sun Katsuhiro Hirata showing up there for a bit, but Soul Calibur as a franchise never had a consistent figure like him in the mix for any prolonged period of time. While the lore, continuity, and character designs of Soul Calibur are bonkers, the people responsible for making these games are pretty straight-laced. Yotoriyama seems like a robot in half of the interviews he gives. Is he involved in the day-to-day creations of the games? No, but he's still the steward of the IP, and he seems like someone who's more than willing to command his pet franchise to fall on a sentient sword if that's what's best for the parent company overall. Is that literally what happened? No, but it's not that far off. And well, that's all we have for this episode of Nerdstalgic Gaming. What do you think? Can Soul Calibur be saved? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, please like and subscribe for more videos just like this.